Everyone, welcome to History Saver 1941. Doing a quick live stream this morning. We are in the midst of Gettysburg week. Awesome Gettysburg 160th this week. We are headed to Gettysburg later this week. 15 and a half to 16-hour ride. It's going to be a long drive to Gettysburg, but it's going to be a very fun drive to Gettysburg. And a lot coming this week. So today is June the 26th, which kicks off Gettysburg week for me anyway, with the history of the Battle of Gettysburg. And I'm going to tell you guys what's to come this week, but I kind of want to give you a little bit of history about June the 26th that not a lot of people actually realize about the Battle of Gettysburg. To be honest, it's really when when the Gettysburg campaign takes off in the first place, not per se the battle, but the campaign for Gettysburg. June 26, 1863, what happens on this day 160 years ago is Jubal Early's men push into Gettysburg. Confederate cavalry comes in that morning. Jubal Early's men come in, and it's often said they were going to find shoes. Well, that's part true, part not true. There was not a shoe factory in Gettysburg. They were finding supplies. They got the town's mayor at the time, if you want to call him that, whatever they called the mayor of the town back then, and basically told him, hey, this is what we need. We need shoes, we need hats, we need food. You know, you're going to give us this or we're going to burn your city to the ground. Well, this was actually against the regulations of the Army too. General Leah put out an order kind of forbidding that happening. You know, they could requisition stuff, but they couldn't burn towns to the ground. But they were doing that anyway. Okay, let's get real. It was happening anyway. So what happens is June 26, 1863, on this day, 160 years ago, Early pushes in, demands all this stuff for the town. The town's mayor goes, hey, we don't have that here, but what I will do is give you what we do have, pay him a little bit of money. So they spared the town of Gettysburg. Also, they have some men from the 26th Pennsylvania Volunteer. It was a kind of a militia emergency unit. It was a cavalry unit. They ride out to meet Early's men. They can't hold them off. There's not many of these guys. They've never seen, a lot of them never seen combat before. They're schoolboys made up from Gettysburg College, the Lutheran Seminary, and other guys that's just young in age. And they end up retreating. George Washington Sandow becomes the first casualty of the Battle of Gettysburg. He is often not given the acclamation that he deserves, but he does become actually the first casualty of the whole Gettysburg campaign because he's a member of that 26th Pennsylvania emergency militia that rides out to meet him. He's a young kid, and he's struck down as he turns his horse to ride away to get away from him. He's hit, I believe, in the neck or somewhere in the head, but he dies, and he is the first casualty. Jubal Early goes into Gettysburg, and they captured a lot of these 26 Pennsylvania guys. He pards them and tells them to go home before they get hurt. So that's basically what happens on June the 26th. And this week is Gettysburg week, 160th week. We are headed to Gettysburg. It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait. What you're going to see is a lot of cool stuff. And I haven't been giving you guys, I don't think, the proper treatment on this channel that I give to, my professional film stuff outside of YouTube. I haven't really been doing my videos as cinematic as they should be. And we're going to change that for Gettysburg. We're going to actually give you some better stuff. Millsap Duo, did you receive my email? Looking forward to it this week of Gettysburg content. No, I did not receive the email. I was looking for it. Email me historysavior1941 at gmail.com. historysavior1941 at gmail.com. If any of you guys want to email me, let me know you're going to be in Gettysburg. Meet up with me. I've got some free swag you can get. Got some History Saver stickers I'll give you. I'll be honestly overjoyed to meet you guys. If you see me anywhere, don't hesitate to come up to me. And got 2104 Dogface. Good morning, buddy. How are you? Doing laundry so I can do some more packing. Yeah, that's me. We are today. We're not in Gettysburg. We're not on the way to Gettysburg yet. We are actually going around getting the babies set up, as in my dogs and cats, making sure they're good to go, and then packing and get some last minute camera equipment packed up. And then we're headed to Gettysburg later this week for a 15 to 16 hour card ride. It's going to be a lot of fun getting there. Very tiring. We will get there this Friday, and we will be on a field almost immediately. You guys, what you have in store here on the channel for this is some high quality videos. I'm going to step up the game on this one. You guys are going to see a lot of videos for a pretty good extended period of time from Gettysburg. This series is going to be awesome. It's going to stretch out, and you're going to see things that other channels haven't did. I was trying to think outside the box when thinking about Gettysburg, because I don't want to step on JD's toes. I don't want to step on Project Pass's toes. I don't want to step on Chris's toes from Vlogging Through History, because I mean, these guys are the best in the game, and I don't want to, do something that they've already did the same as that way. Yeah, we will visit the wheat field. We will visit Devil's Den, the triangular field. Cups Hill is a big one I'm looking forward to going to. I want to do a lot more from Cups Hill. And those are portions of the battlefield you will see. We will hit on Pickett's Charge a little bit, of course. I mean, these are things you got to do when you go to Gettysburg. You can't tell the story of Gettysburg without visiting these places, and it's going to be a lot of fun. But we want to do something a little bit different. One of the things you probably have not seen much on YouTube is the field hospitals of Gettysburg. The homes, the citizens of Gettysburg, that their world was turned upside down by this battle. The big thing is that we are going to be visiting and doing a series from field hospitals in a series of different videos. We are going to visit a lot of the homes in Gettysburg. We may not necessarily be able to go inside the homes, but we will see inside of a couple of them. But we want to hit up the field hospitals of Gettysburg, show you where the after actions of Gettysburg actually took place, and the stories of its citizens and how their lives were turned upside down and forever changed by this battle. You haven't seen a lot of that on YouTube. You've seen a little touch of it, but we're going to dig into this a little bit more in depth. So that's going to be one of the biggest things. We'll be in Gettysburg if it wasn't already going to be in Charleston, South Carolina. We'll be going to Fort Sumter and going down to Savannah, as well as the more historical areas in the Charleston area. That is going to be awesome. Charleston is one of my favorite areas. Savannah, Georgia. You've seen that on this channel a lot. Savannah is one of my favorite places to visit. Cups Hill is a big area to cover, but this year it'll be busy. Yeah, Cups Hill is huge. If you guys never been to Gettysburg, Cups Hill saw probably, in my opinion, some of the most constant deadly fighting. I mean, there was always fighting on Cups Hill, and a lot of people don't mention that Cups Hill just didn't see action on July the 2nd. It saw action somewhat on the 1st, on the 2nd, and on the 3rd. Cups Hill was a constant battleground, and there was millions of rounds fired on Cups Hill. And we'll cover some of Cups Hill. Of course, we can't cover all of Cups Hill, because as Dogface said here, Cups Hill is a big area to cover. It is huge. And it encompasses areas like Spangler Spring as well. You can't really talk about Cups Hill without hitting on Spangler Spring, but you'll see all this on episodes on the channel. Also, Project Pass. You guys got to visit James at Project Pass. He's got one of the best channels here on YouTube, and he does a lot of great stuff. I know he's got some very cool content coming from Gettysburg as well. You'll see him on this channel a little bit from Gettysburg. You'll also see guys like JD from the History Underground. He'll probably make an appearance on here in a couple of videos. You'll also probably see Chris from Vlogging Through History, and you'll also see probably Gary Edelman, Chris White, these guys from the American Battlefield Trust, some of the best Civil War historians in the entire world. We may run into Jeff Shara. Jeff Shara, of course, wrote the pre-sequel to his dad's book, which was The Killer Angels. He wrote Gods and Generals, and that's what his movie, the movie Gods and Generals was based off of, was his novel. And Jeff Shara's continued to write some absolutely amazing Civil War content. My thing that I'm most excited for is meeting two guys, however. William Frazanito, who is the godfather of he's the historian number one historian in the entire nation on the photos of Gettysburg. This guy has written some of the most amazing books concerning the battlefield photos of Gettysburg that's out there. He has put forth over 40 years of research into what he does, and he's the best in the world. We will actually be meeting him. He's going to sign, hopefully, all of my books, and I can't wait for that. The second guy we're going to meet that I'm really excited for as well is Stephen Lang. The actor Stephen Lang, you know him from, if you're not a big Civil War fan, Avatar. He played, I can't remember the bad guy's name in Avatar, but he played the bad guy in Avatar. But he was General Pickett in Gettysburg, and he also played General Stonewall Jackson in Gods and Generals. One of the biggest actors in the world, in my opinion. And he is also a history nut, history nerd, and avid supporter of Gettysburg, the National Park Service, and the American Battlefield Trust. And that's another thing, guys. If you haven't checked out the History Underground, Vlogging Through History, the American Battlefield Trust, Emerging Civil War, you've got to go do that. Project Pass, go check him out. But if you want to know anything about the Battle of Gettysburg, you're starting to learn the Battle of Gettysburg, American Battlefield Trust, Emerging Civil War is the channels you need to look up. Especially if you are like me, on the road a lot, you listen to audiobooks, you need a break from them. Go visit the American Battlefield Trust, go visit Emerging Civil War, plug it in, listen. It's you don't have to watch it to learn a lot. Also, you'll probably see the my favorite podcast, Addressing Gettysburg. Matt, you will probably see Matt at some point on this channel from Gettysburg. Matt is a really neat guy, and Addressing Gettysburg is one of my favorite podcasts. Also, something out of the box you're going to see is the World War II Experience Museum in Gettysburg. We have plans to go there. We're going to hook up with Jody, superfan Jody from the Battle of Gettysburg podcast, another podcast you have to check out. If you're into the Battle of Gettysburg, want to know more history, want to learn, Battle of Gettysburg podcast, you need to check them out. We will be at the World War II Experience Museum, shifting gears from the Civil War and give you some more history of World War II in Gettysburg. A lot of people don't realize Gettysburg was a home of Eisenhower. So pretty cool to be there. We're actually staying on part of his estate. So it's going to be really neat. The number of meetups and talks is crazy. Sadly, too many to choose from. I'm going to try to make as many as we can. And Dogface is saying that about the number of meetups in Gettysburg is absolutely insane. Like, I cannot meet everybody I want to meet, because if I did that, I would not have time to film anything. And that's the problem I run into on scheduling this Gettysburg trip. And I know, several other guys did as well. Me and James are talking about it at one point. The number of meetups, James from Project Pass says, the number of meetups is just absolutely crazy. You've got Jeff Shaw, you got Stephen Lang, you got Gary Edelman, Chris White, Carol Reardon, William Frazanito, I said Jeff Shaw, but you got all the guys from Addressing Gettysburg, all the guys from the Battle of Gettysburg podcast. You've got JD from the History Underground. You've got Chris from Vlogging Through History. You've got James from Project Pass. And the list just keeps going on and on and on and on and on. There's so many seminars you can choose from and go to. Free talks, ticketed talks. I know JD in the History Underground and a few other guys are doing something from seminary, the Lutheran Seminary on Sunday. I want to go to that. Am I going to be able to? I don't know yet. So you may or may not see me there. Hey, JD from History Underground is here. Going to be a busy weekend. JD from History Underground, guys, is going to be everywhere in Gettysburg. I don't know where this dude finds the time. I think if you guys want to meet JD from the History Underground, you can meet him in several different places. Go visit his channel. He's got videos on there explaining where he's going to be, what times he's going to be there. He's got the flyers up for these things. So if you guys need something to visually look at and see where you want to go, when you want to go there to meet him, be sure to do that. I know I'm going to the Gettysburg Museum of History on Sunday to meet up with him Saturday night. There's an awesome panel discussion. I don't know if there's tickets still available, but you guys, if you haven't grabbed a ticket, try to at least go do that. We have our tickets for Saturday night. I know me and James from Project Pass is going with some subscribers here. And and it's going to be an absolutely epic time. This panel discussion is something I'm really looking forward to, and I don't want to butcher the name of it. So it's something like From Gettysburg to Normandy. It's dealing with YouTube, basically historical YouTube content creators, and it's talking about JD and Chris from Vlogging Through History's journey, as well as Gary Edelman and Chris White from the American Battlefield Trust. Those guys have the best channel on the American Civil War and battlefields in general anywhere on YouTube. If you haven't supported the American Battlefield Trust, you need to go do that right now. The American Battlefield Trust is in fights all over the country to save battlefields. I'm seeing daily, almost daily things from these guys popping up on Instagram, on YouTube, of things they're doing, places they are, land they're saving and restoring. And if you go to the Lee's headquarters in Gettysburg, that was not always like that, okay? It has been restored to the wartime look. Lee's headquarters in Gettysburg is probably one of my favorite places in Gettysburg. Even though I've only been one time, it was by far one of my favorite places because you visually see what the American Battlefield Trust does for yourself. Several years ago, and when I say several, I mean under 10 years ago, that place was a hotel. It was basically a parking lot. And the building was there, but it had stuff built onto it, built around it. And it was, for a history nerd, it was kind of an eyesore, to be honest with you. Well, these guys went in, they restored it to its original wartime look, and you can visit that now. And see, Dogface says, I live down the road from Lee's headquarters back when it was a hotel and gift shop. Yeah, there was a hotel there, a gift shop there, so you remember that. It was a lot different. Well, it has been restored by the American Battlefield Trust to its original 1863 appearance when General Robert E. Lee was there on McPherson's Ridge and Seminary Ridge. And it was a cool thing. I remember when that happened, and I was just overjoyed by the transformation of that. And to be able to see that in person, guys, you really see the American Battlefield Trust at work. And the Beyond the Battle Experience, the museum, Beyond the Battle Museum there in Gettysburg with the Adams County Historical Society, is in its first anniversary being there, open for the Battle of Gettysburg. And this place is a place I'm really looking forward to visiting. They got Ken Burns stuff in there. I mean, that's the thing I'm probably the most excited about, is to see Ken Burns, items in there, because he's my favorite documentary filmmaker, and he is an idol to me. But to be able to go in there and see that exhibit, and they've got a very cool exhibit in there that has reset a facade of a home. And you walk in here and something very neat's going to happen. So you can't really visit Gettysburg without visiting that museum and wrap your head around what happens and get that civilian aspect. And we also are, there's just so much we're doing, and I'm all over the place even talking about it. We're going to be on McPherson's Ridge. We're going to Cashtown Inn. We're probably going to kick off this series from Cashtown Inn. And that's a place I've never visited, didn't have time to visit. Last time I was in Gettysburg, we visited the first shot marker. We're going to talk a little bit about that story. And if I was to sit here and give you the entire history of day 1, 2, 3, it would be a non-stop 45-minute video on each one, if not longer. So it's we're going to feed you a little bit, leave you enough to want to dig into the Battle of Gettysburg yourself. And if you want even more, there's great channels to visit. The History Underground, constantly putting up stuff from Gettysburg. The artifact stuff he does with American Artifact series on this channel with Eric Dorr from the Gettysburg Museum of History is absolutely just phenomenal. Will the panel on Saturday night be available for live or viewing online somewhere? Yes, Mel Duro, that will be available, not on my channel. JD from the History, you could go to the History Underground. It would be live streamed on his channel. Also, Chris from Vlogging Through History, I think is going to live stream it from his channel as well. And I don't know if the American Battlefield Trust is or is not, but you can definitely find it at the History Underground and Vlogging Through History. I will not be doing that because I'm going to sit back and enjoy the seminar and panel discussion for myself. And those guys are already got it up on their channels going live. So there's no reason for me to do that. I'll just be stepping on their toes, and I'm not doing that. So you can go to their channels and visit there on Saturday. I would probably get on there about 6 or 7, around 6 or 7 p.m. Be looking out for it, whatever time zone you're in. I think it starts 7 o'clock Gettysburg time. If JD's still in here, maybe he could correct me on that. I have the time on my ticket right now. I've got so many times to schedule things running through my head for Gettysburg. I really don't remember, honestly. But yes, we'll be there. We won't be live streaming, but you can find that live stream with that, panel discussion live on the History Underground and Vlogging Through History. 7 o'clock. There you go. JD put up the time, 7 p.m. So wherever you are, 7 p.m., just estimate that with your time zone. Be 7 p.m., Gettysburg time. So you can check that out, the History Underground, Vlogging Through History. JD, I think, will be at the Gettysburg Museum of History as well with Eric Dorr on Sunday. That is a museum I have not been able to check out yet. Last time I was in Gettysburg, I couldn't go. I had too much going on, and the day I was trying to go, it was closed. But we will be going there Sunday. I'll be seeing JD there, Eric Dorr there, but I want to check out the Gettysburg Museum of History for myself, and of course, probably buy several things. So, because I'm a history nut, we'll probably buy something from there to give away on the channel. I don't know. We'll buy something from Gettysburg somewhere to give away on the channel, or we'll give something away on the channel from Gettysburg for sure. But yeah, I mean, if you guys haven't visited the Gettysburg Museum of History, oh my gosh, like, it's the museum of museums. I mean, this place is absolutely crazy, and if you've never even seen it on social media, you got to check out JD's channel, the History Underground, the American Artifact series. Man, that's my favorite series, hands down. He posted a video yesterday talking about a little bit of the fight at the Peach Orchard and some cool relics associated with that. I'm not gonna give it away. You guys got to go check out his channel for that. Yeah, there's some cool videos popping up. But after we leave Gettysburg, the fun doesn't stop. We are headed to Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. We're going to be filming there, some at Independence Hall, doing the Liberty Bell. I was going to Baltimore. That was the plan after Philadelphia, to do some stuff on Fort McHenry. But I changed the plans of Baltimore, honestly, because I'm scared to go to Baltimore. Baltimore right now, if you haven't watched the news, is a war zone. I mean, it's not a safe place to go, and I had a subscriber actually tell me that you don't want to go to Baltimore. You can't stop at the red lights. You can't stop at the stop signs. If you do, you risk probably not coming home. So we're not going to do that. We're going to play it safe, even though I want to go to Fort McHenry and share that with you guys so bad. It's just not safe to do, not right now. So in the future of this channel, we will go, but when things kind of cool down over there. We will, however, Philly does have the statue of Babe and Wild Bill. Oh, if you guys don't know, Wild Bill Garnier, one of my favorite World War II veterans to actually watch and study from. This guy was an absolute hoot, man. He was great. Unfortunately, he's gone now. Yeah, I'll definitely check that out when I'm in Philadelphia, so you guys probably see that as well. But after we leave Philadelphia, instead of headed to Baltimore, we're probably going to head to Antietam, the Appomattox. We're going to try to hit up Fredericksburg, Mary's Heights, Harper's Ferry as well, and some other sites along the way that we just can stop into. So you're going to see a lot of videos from this trip for months. I mean, it's going to be an absolute massive content gathering trip, and it's going to be a lot of fun, because if you haven't experienced Gettysburg, you don't have to go for the anniversary. You just need to go. That's all I will say. If you've never been to Gettysburg, you need to go. Even if you're not interested in history, go to Gettysburg. We probably won't talk much about the Gettysburg Address in this, because we kind of hit that in the last Gettysburg series we did. But see, Millsap Duo, anything in the Central Tennessee area Civil War related is worth a stop. Yes, Tennessee is littered with Civil War sites as well. If you guys are anywhere near Tennessee, Kentucky, Virginia, West Virginia, North Carolina, South Carolina, I mean, you're in prime real estate, Maryland, Pennsylvania. You're in prime real estate for Civil War sites. But this series is going to be absolutely amazing. I'm looking forward to it. I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, it's just going to be an exciting time. And we're going to have a lot of content. I can't tell you exactly what content you're going to see outside of what I've already told you, because I don't know. We're going to, I mean, you go to Gettysburg, you find so many different things. So there's no telling what you're going to see pop up on this channel. There's no telling what you're going to see pop up on a History Underground's channel, Vlogging Through History's channel, Project Pass's channel. He's going to be doing a ton of stuff. You got to check out James for Project Pass. He's going to be doing some really cool stuff. I know I'm going to try to hit the railroad cut. It's probably one of my favorite actions of Gettysburg, honestly, is the fight at the railroad cut. And why, I don't really know, other than it was so interesting that, you know, it was so interesting and so bloody for that railroad cut. It was the day one of Gettysburg is really one of my favorite days, because that's what kicked everything off. And that morning, you know, you've got a cavalryman who is out, you know, on the ridge in front of McPherson's Ridge, a few miles down the road, between McPherson's and Cashtown Inn, as the Confederate columns are pushing in Gettysburg. Marcellus Jones was his name, and he takes a you know, carbine from one of his troopers and goes, "Let me start this ball," and fires the first shots of the first shot of the Battle of Gettysburg. And in the 1890s, that marker was placed there by him and some of his friends that did that. And that is probably the most overlooked marker of Gettysburg, but it's the most important. I mean, that's where everything starts to kick off. And then you've got John Reynolds, who's, you know, trying as fast as he can to push up the Buford. And you got Buford, McPherson's Ridge and Seminary Ridge, watching everything that's going on. He's ordered the Federal cavalrymen to hold off the Confederate advance as long as they can. And they're doing this by moving from, you know, back from ridge to ridge to ridge. Because if you look at the groundscape of Gettysburg, and you can't really comprehend it until you go there, you see these ridges kind of like a sea of waves. And they would move from one ridge, hop on their horses, fire a bunch of shots, move back to the next ridge, fire a bunch of shots. And they're just holding the Confederates off, making it look, because they got their lines stretched out, and they're making it look like they have far more guys than they actually do. And Buford doesn't, yeah, the first day don't get as much love as the second or third with tourists, and that's correct, but it doesn't actually get enough, in my opinion, of the recognition that Buford did there either. Buford was a genius by what he did during the first day of the battle, because he's stretching out his cavalry line with little to almost no guys, stretching out this cavalry line along the ridges to make it appear that he has a lot more than what he does. And he has 4 artillery guns, and he's stretching these out on each side of the road to make it appear like he has more artillery than what he actually does. And what he's doing is buying time to get General Reynolds up to him, to get the damned black cats up to him. And I love that expression, those damn black cats. That's my favorite expression out of any unit with a whole history of the Battle of Gettysburg. That's my favorite unit to study, because those guys had a reputation for just being fearless. And that was all because of John Reynolds, who unfortunately meets his demise right there, where what we call Reynolds Woods now, on the first day of the battle. As he's pushing his men, he's sitting there on his horse, pushing his men forward, for God's sakes, through the woods. I mean, it's just such a cool story. And then Reynolds, of course, is a shot in the head and dies instantly. And his loss it doesn't get enough recognition of how much his loss meant to his, not only the men that he commanded, but the entire Union Army. Reynolds was that loved, and he was that good of a general. And Buford was very saddened by Reynolds' death. And the Battle of the Gettysburg movie actually does a pretty accurate, or pretty good job at describing that, situation. And a lot of Hollywood movies are hit and miss with the historical accuracies. Gettysburg does a good job with that portion, I thought. And it was the first day's battle was such it's such a fun topic to study. I mean, you've got the fight for Oak Ridge going on. You've got the cavalrymen who's spread from one road all the way over to where the Eternal Peace Peace Light Memorial is now in Gettysburg, and that's a long way to be stretched with just a few guys. And, you know, that turns into the fight at McPherson's Ridge, the fight at the railroad cut with the Wisconsin guys, and then the fight at Oak Ridge, and then you got Benner's Hill, and, you know, things like that going on. And then the Union Army retreats back to East Cemetery Hill, and then everything kind of takes off from there. And then you got the fight through the town, which is seldom talked about as much as it needs to be. It's not talked about as much. You know, there was a little skirmishing through the town, and these civilians who's left in Gettysburg is right in the middle of it. I mean, a lot of these people, you got to put our mindsets today into their mindsets then. You know, their homes was all they had. You know, for a civilian in Gettysburg, all your possessions are having to be left behind at the mercy of two armies, and in the middle of some of the most savage fighting seen during the entire war. They didn't know that at the time, but, you know, that's what would happen. And then when they return, they have bodies strewn everywhere across what was their lives, their farms. You know, you got to think back then, you don't have all this that we have today. You don't have all these stores. You know, people didn't live and make their livings by working in supermarkets. They made their livings by farming, and the Sheffrey's Peach Orchard is a prime example of that. You know, this was his life. You know, he was done that and did other things to supplement his income and livelihood, and then it was all turned upside down within the matter of hours and days. And, you know, it's not something that's seldom talked about with historians. We focus more on the tactical and unit aspects, such as the first day battle, the second day's battle, the third day's battle, what units was involved. But we seldom, we somehow miss the civilian aspect, which is the reason why you have to visit the Beyond the Battle Museum for Adams County Historical Society in Gettysburg. You've got to go see that museum because it gives you that aspect that's often missed. Go visit the Jenny Wade house. That gives you a sense of the aspect. I mean, Jenny Wade was killed. You know, there were other citizens of Gettysburg that were actually killed during the battle too. I actually do a video on this at some point. They wasn't actually killed like per se during the fighting, but they received wounds and died after the battle had ended. And there was one guy I have in my head in particular who I don't want to give away his story. You know, I'd rather do it on the video. And I ran across this story, and it's an absolutely amazing story because he was actually wounded in a leg and died, you know, a month in August after the Battle of Gettysburg ended, but he was wounded during the battle. And it's a compelling story. It really is. And it, you know, give him some, it maybe would give him some significance. You know, we often focus on Jenny Wade as being the only civilian casualty during the Battle of Gettysburg, which is partly true. I mean, she was the only civilian actually killed in the midst of the battle, but she wasn't the only civilian wounded and who died from wounds sustained. And this guy has association with the first shots of the battle itself. It's a really cool story, and it is featured in the Emerging Civil War book, which I will name in that video. And we will cover this on probably the first video from Gettysburg. But it's a story that has not been told on a YouTube video that I know of, and just because it's often seldom overlooked. And he was wounded, but he didn't die, like I said, during the fighting or anything like that. He was wounded and had a medical emergency, let's just put it like that, and died in August. But everything that caused his death was effects from him being wounded. So it's a neat story. We'll examine that a little bit later here on the channel. But the History Underground JD has an awesome video from the Jenny Wade house, and The Jenny Wade House is one of my favorite places to visit in Gettysburg. It's actually the only museum I had time to visit last time I was there. This time we're going to be visiting a lot of the museums. We have a day set aside just for museums this time, which is going to be a lot of fun. Then we'll be going into World War II Experience Museum, which is another big love of mine besides Civil War history, World War II. I'm a World War II fanatic. So that's going to be a lot of cool, really cool to see that place. And I don't know, guys. I've rambled long enough. There's just a lot coming up that I'm excited for. And I'm excited for this other channels, Project Pass, the History Underground, Vlogging Through History, to see, for you guys to see on their channels. I'm excited to see it myself. I watch YouTube more than I do television. I don't ever watch television. I watch YouTube. I watch YouTube and read. That's my hobbies. As far as outside of everything else. So yeah, I'm a fan just like you guys of their channels, and I'm excited to see what's to come on there. I'm constantly watching their content. So they're the best in the game. And anything I do is just supplemental. I mean, very minute compared to what they do. James for Project Pass just released a video actually on a very, very cool skirmish battle that occurred in Florida, and you really need to go watch it because it's something I never even knew took place, and it's very cool. You guys need to check it out. Check out his TikTok too, and Instagram as well. When you come here to Kansas City, there's an amazing store about 30 minutes away that has amazing collectibles, and we'll definitely take you there. Cool. Looking forward to that. Everything from Civil War to modern, mainly World War I, World War II stuff is amazing. Cool. I'm definitely excited to hit Kansas City at some point. The first to see the Eternal Peace Flame is a must visit when in Gettysburg. Also, amazing sunset. Yeah, that's another monument on the battlefield. In my opinion, doesn't get the significance it deserves. One of my favorite aspects of Gettysburg is the monuments. We'll be doing a lot of that too as well. And it has an amazing history behind it. You guys really need to look up some content on the Eternal Peace Flame monument there in Gettysburg. It's something to see, and it's right there near Oak Ridge. So it's in a very cool spot on the battlefield. Also, the reenactment. I almost forgot about that. The 160th reenactment. We'll also be checking that out. I won't be checking out much of it other than Pickett's charge. To mainly get some B-roll and to see it for myself. Vlogging Through History. Chris is here. What's up, buddy? Let's go. Looking forward to this weekend. Yeah, we're looking forward to this weekend. Hopefully we're going to be blessed with some excellent weather. Dude, speaking of weather, it was 109 degrees here in South Alabama yesterday. I was driving down the road, and that's probably not the actual temperature, but it was probably 105. And I'm like, everyone's talking about it's going to be hot in Gettysburg. I'm like, no, dude, I'm ready to go. I'm ready to get away from this. It is hotter than the Dickens down here at South Alabama right now. It is 10 o'clock in the morning and already 90 degrees here. So that's the typical summer weather here. It's so humid you can't breathe. That's the difference. Pennsylvania doesn't have, it's got humidity, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't have 100% humidity that we have here. It is absolutely just brutal. Liberty Rifles will be portraying the 8th Florida Regiment. Really? So Liberty Rifles is one of my favorite reenacting groups to watch on social media. I love everything those guys are doing. I think they actually portrayed the Minnesota charge last year. I'm gonna have to check that out because yeah, I know Project Pass will be interested to hear that. He loves anything Florida concerned. See, it's all relative to we people from Northwest Ohio. Southern PA is humid. Yeah, it is humid. It's not probably as humid as it is here though. So I'm looking forward to a little bit of a break. I mean, it's going to be hot, of course, and a little bit humid, but man, it's been so brutal here. Yesterday it was so bad you couldn't even breathe outside. Like the air was just that thick with humidity. And for anyone wanting to visit the beach during the summer here, I understand why. You know, we have tourists here where I live coming to Gulf Shores and Orange Beach from all over the world, and they come to see the Blue Angels as well. You know, I'm real close to the Blue Angels. I'm so used to seeing the Blue Angels, it doesn't even faze me anymore. But they come flock here during the summers for the beach and Blue Angels, and it's just, I don't know. Uh, it's hot. It's hot. Central Florida summer is brutal too. Hardly goes below 90 degrees, humid 24/7. Yeah, Georgie, Central Florida is just as bad as here. It's the beach. It's the Gulf of Mexico. All of that pushing up, and then on top of it, we've got hurricanes to worry about. Hurricanes are, yeah. I hate hurricane season, bro. Hate hurricane season. High 80s with a chance of thunderstorms. I guess you're talking about the weather for Gettysburg. Um, hey, I don't care if it thunderstorms, bro. We're hitting the battlefield. It could rain, it could hail, it could sleet. It's not gonna sleet in June, or July, but you know, it can do whatever it wants to do. Nothing is going to stop me from hitting that battlefield and seeing that battlefield and get some content out for you guys. I don't care if it's lightning. Hey, if something happens to me, well, cool. I died in Gettysburg. No, I hope that doesn't happen for real. If it's lightning bad enough, I'm not going to be trampling across a battlefield. A stray storm wouldn't be terrible. Hopefully, we'll cool things off. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, maybe that would cool a few things off for us, right? So rain is never a bad thing, only when it's storming nonstop, right? But yeah, here I know when it rains here, thunderstorm comes in, it just gets hotter afterwards. So hopefully it won't be the case there. Also, if you're coming to Gettysburg, if you're planning on being there, like I said, look up the History Underground. Look up where he's going to be. Look up where Chris from Vlogging Through History is going to be. Project Pass is going to be in several places. Look him up. I'll be in several places. You can come by and say hello to me. If you want, I'll give you some free stickers and stuff. I have some on me. And, you know, I know all of these guys are really approachable. If you guys are scared of bothering them or whatever, don't be. I mean, I speak for myself. I know, you know, I don't mind it. I mean, but I'm nobody. I'm just the smallest fish in this huge fish tank of historical creators. So these guys are the role models for me. I'm excited about seeing them as well. But I know they're very open to people coming. Yeah, 100% definitely say hi. There you go. If you see these guys out and about, especially Chris from Vlogging Through History, James from Project Pass, JD from History Underground, go say hello. Gary Edelman, I am so excited about seeing Gary Edelman. I mean, that guy is the godfather of things. I know I'm in the truck right now. I probably haven't addressed that. I'm out getting stuff, getting ready for this week, and I'm in this truck all the time anyway. I have walked around the battlefield during the thunderstorm so many times, nothing stops from seeing Gettysburg. Yeah, last time I was in Gettysburg, it was during the winter. It was absolutely fantastic. I had the battlefield to myself. No one there. It was rainy, cold, and very windy, but it was awesome. It was absolutely amazing. So, just like Disney World, there's prime times to visit Gettysburg, I guess. Gonna head into a meeting. We'll be getting an email later. Okay. Enjoy Gettysburg. Look forward to content. Thank you, Mill Syrup Duo, for checking in. Poor Gary. I don't know how he walked down the street during this event. Compared to him, I'll be incognito. Yeah, Gary, man. I imagine Gary has everybody in the world coming up to him. And how can you miss his hat, right? And Gary, you know, you watch his videos on American Battlefield Trust, and he's always everywhere. I mean, I don't understand how someone could comprehend that much knowledge up here. I mean, he's just absolutely amazing. But yeah, Gary Edelman is probably the #1 person people want to meet just because he is so cool to watch. And he knows so much about not only Gettysburg, but Vicksburg. The Vicksburg 160th series they're running right now is absolutely phenomenal. On the field during the storm is fun. During the winter is fun too. Yeah, I agree. I haven't been on the field during the storm, but I have been there during the winter, and the winter is a lot of fun. Dustin, what's up, buddy? Tagging along with James for Project Pass. Yep. Excited to meet you, Chris, JD, all the players of the history content world. Dude, I'm excited to meet you too. We will be seeing you guys as soon as we get into Gettysburg. Yeah, so some cool things come out with Project Pass. You guys have got to stay tuned to Project Pass. So hopefully I'm not going to be dog tired Friday when I get to Gettysburg. That's going to be dependent on a lot of things I do, because I will be driving overnight from South Alabama, leaving Thursday afternoon. Can't leave until then because I've got some obligations to tend to. But we leave Thursday afternoon. I'll be driving 15, 16 hours nonstop to Gettysburg. Get a couple hours of sleep when I get there. Get a couple of these Celsiuses in. And Jocko or two. JD turned me on the Jockos. Those things are amazing. Maybe some coffee. And then it's going to be a lack of sleep for sure, but it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a great seeing everyone. My son Eli has decided to meet everyone too. Yeah. Congratulations to Chris, to Eli, for his soccer going undefeated, man. That's awesome. So saw Tim Smith during the 150 night talking to people in the beer garden at Sweeney Tavern. Didn't say anything as he was talking away. Yeah, Tim Smith, guys. Tim Smith is another. I failed to mention Tim Smith, and I don't know how. He's one of my favorite historians. Adams County Historical Society also does stuff with the American Battlefield Trust, Emergent Civil War. Tim Smith is one of the biggest minds. If you want to know anything about Gettysburg, Tim Smith is the one to pick the brain of. Yeah, I blame JD for the Jocko addiction as well. Dude, that Jocko, it cost me a lot of money for Jockos. Just put it that way. I'm constantly on Jocko ordering some. If some reason they don't have something, I go to Amazon and get them. That was Caleb, my 15-year-old son. Thank you, Eli is nearly, okay. Wow, Eli is obsessed with is 11, and the one who's obsessed with Gettysburg, like I was his age. Yeah, well, sorry about that. Congratulations to Caleb. Can't wait to meet Eli, too. You know, I got into history when I was around between 9 and 11 as well. And Gettysburg was the first thing that piqued my interest in the history, as well as my grandpa's stories from World War II. And so that's how I guess my love for Civil War and World War II history emerged, was World War II through my grandpa, and then Civil War through just, I don't know. I ran across a book, I think, and we had it in history class. And that's where my love for Gettysburg peaked. And then it was Don Cherone, or however you pronounce his name, famous artist, painter. His paintings captivated me for some reason, him and Mort Kussler. And I wonder if those guys are going to be around Gettysburg. I don't know. But two of the best military history painters in the world, military history artists in the world. Those guys are great. And yeah, I one day want to meet them because I love everything they do. And I have one pitch or print from each, and it cost a lot of money. It cost a lot of money. That was probably the most money I've ever dropped on a lot of, you know, anything like that. I never thought I would be paying that much for a painting, but I did. Hitting Antietam Thursday afternoon before arriving in Gettysburg Thursday evening. Planning on Harper's Ferry and Manassas on my way back to the airport Monday evening, beyond Getty. Me too. I'm doing that all on the way back. So it's going to be a lot of fun to hit these places up. Have to hit Nelson's Art Gallery in Gettysburg then for some artwork. Don't tempt me to spend more money in Gettysburg than what I'm already planning on spending. Gettysburg's a dangerous place for a history nerd, man. Dangerous territory, especially with a horse soldier. Oh, man. Don't even get me started on that place. I can't walk into that place without walking out with empty wallet, okay? Yeah, that's between books and buying stuff from the Gettysburg Museum of History and the Horse Soldier and Maryland Sutler and the Union Drummer Boy, it's going to be a bad time for my wallet, for sure. I don't even want to be my wallet right now. I hear it screaming in my back pocket as we speak. No, don't take me. So, yeah, that's definitely what's going on with him right now. Anyway, guys, I've been on here long enough. Right at 50 minutes. I guess I need to jump off here. Chris just found out my third great grandfather was a private in the 89th Ohio. Awesome. Regimental Quartermaster Aaron will get you a deal. Yeah, I can't walk in there either. The regimental quartermaster is a very dangerous territory for me to go. But I'm walking in there anyway. Yeah. So a lot of stuff going on this week. We will be live streaming from Gettysburg. I wake up at about 3 a.m. every morning. So we will be live streaming from Gettysburg Saturday morning on when we get there. Saturday morning, be looking for a live stream. A lot of you guys probably won't be up yet, but the live stream will be up here and stay up so you can go back and watch it. But yeah, when I wake up Saturday morning, I'll take you along with me before daylight. We're going to start early, get some coffee in us, and we will probably make coffee on a battlefield. I've got a little drip I bring with me for coffee, and a little to-go drip I pack in my backpack. Air, I like cold coffee anyway, so it's air coffee, and put some Black Rifle in that thing, and we'll be good to go. So be looking for a live stream from there on Saturday and probably Sunday and Monday as well. They'll be left up here. We'll do live streams hopefully throughout the day a little bit, just to kind of say hello to you guys and let you see what we're doing. Just quick little live streams. Dustin, yeah, see you Friday, Dustin. Man, can't wait to meet you. It's going to be very cool. We'll see you in James sometime Friday. Hopefully I won't be dog tired, so I'm gonna do what I can. 7-Eleven on Buford Avenue for coffee that early. Okay, 7-Eleven coffee it is. We'll try it. I've got some Black Rifle coffee. I'm really partial to Black Rifle, but we'll check out the 7-Eleven. If I don't feel like making any, well, I probably definitely will hit up the 7-Eleven that early in the morning. But it's going to be very cool. Well, anyway, we've got a little bit of content I'm going to try to get up sometime this week, so you guys have at least something to watch and prepare you for Gettysburg. And then we will see you bright and early with our first live stream from Gettysburg, probably coming, if not Friday, early Saturday morning from Gettysburg 160. It's going to be a lot of fun. And guys, don't forget to check out Project Past, the History Underground, Vlogging Through History, American Battlefield Trust, Emergent Civil War, and there's tons of other channels I haven't named. Dressing Gettysburg and Battle of Gettysburg podcasts, the two podcasts you need to check up on, and they also have YouTube channels. Go on there and visit them. That'll get you all set up for Gettysburg. It is officially June the 26th, the start of the Gettysburg campaign. We will see you from Gettysburg, Pennsylvania in just a few days. Till then, keep preserving history, stay safe, and thank you guys so much for all the support and love on the channel here, and for subscribing and for everything. I really appreciate it. You don't know how much. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. So go visit the History Underground, Vlogging Through History, to figure out where those guys will be. And also Project Past, he'll be putting up, I'm sure, some information about where he's going to be and where you can find him. You'll probably see me and him together at some points. And if you guys see me, come up. I'll have some free goodies for you. I may actually give something to the very first subscriber who walks up to me. I may put together a little something for you. Who knows? So you never know. If I can get it together in time, that is. So I've also got just a couple of these to give away too. So it's not much. It's stickers, but hey, something you can stick somewhere, I guess. We'll see you then. Yeah, let's get off here and get to shopping. See you from Gettysburg. Bye-bye.